Hi guys, welcome back to another Market Watch video. Right, should we get a bit of housekeeping out of the way first, shall we? I want to let you know what's going on with a few of the bikes that I've got at the moment. Obviously, you all know, if you have seen or you may not have seen, Pan-European breaking down, and yeah, basically the bike needs a new alternator, which is a real pain in the backside. But funny story, if you haven't seen the CRF video that I did to start the week, I was walking down the road with my helmet and all my bike gear, and who did I happen to see but the previous owner of Peter. So yeah, that was a bit odd, and his friend had been sending him the video, so that was rather exciting to say the least. So yeah, he's really pleased and excited to see what's going on with the bike. So yeah, a few decisions need to be made there. Quite a few of you in the comments really want me just to get on, buy an alternator and just get on with it. So yes, we will have to see. I'm going to make a good decision about that. I think we probably will sway that way, won't we? But yeah, I'm just a little bit disappointed at the moment. But what can you say? £200 bike's going to happen, right? So that is life. The K1, the BMW K1. I haven't ridden that in the last few days, actually. I have just bought a new 12-volt socket for it. It's also going to have a full service that I will do, which will also be another video. So if you're interested in those type of videos, then yeah, I'm going to be doing a full service on the BMW K1 because, yeah, I'd like to book in a trip. So yeah, I'd like to give that just a full once over and make sure everything's okay with that. So that should be good fun. Also, we have purchased an enduro bike. If you've seen a video a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about enduro bikes and all that good stuff, and I'd like a classic thumper. Well, I have purchased one. It will be here in the next couple of days, or the next few days anyway. So, yeah, when it's here, again, it's another bit of a project, so I can't help myself with a bargain, can I? So yeah, that's going to need some work. But again, that would be good for you guys to follow that, have your opinions on it, and tell me what you think about the bike I have purchased. I won't spill the beans on what it is just yet, but some of you might have a good idea, because it's a bike I tend to go on about quite a lot anyway. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy that. What else have I been up to? Oh, I went to Bike Shed. I'll insert a few pictures of my favourite bikes from Bike Shed. I went on the Sunday and it seemed a bit quieter than normal. I don't know if anyone else went to Bike Shed this weekend, but it seemed to have fewer bikes than what I'd remembered, and it was definitely quieter on the people front as well. But yeah, it was a really good show still. I went with a friend of mine, Stu. Yeah, we walked around. We had quite a few beers actually. But yeah, we went previously a couple of years ago with my friend JG and my other friend Stu. Yeah, and they ended up getting tattoos because they were quite drunk. So yeah, he's still got the tattoo on his arm from there, which is our made-up motorcycle name. So I'll tell you that in another episode. I'll go into all that in another episode. So yes, it's grown men acting like children. So yeah, I enjoyed Bike Shed. What did I else see at Bike Shed? I was quite interested. I saw a Motor Morini Cape 650 for £5,800 for a brand new bike, and it looked quite nice actually. I've sort of seen a couple of reviews online about the bike, and it seems quite good. I'd like to actually kind of test ride one because in the age we're living, where everything is so expensive, it's quite refreshing to see something cheap. So yeah, I'd quite like to test ride one of those and see if it is any good. I mean, it isn't a powerhouse. I think it's around about 60 horsepower or around about that, but enough to have fun anyway. And that's what it's all about, right? Okie doke, I think that's all our housekeeping pretty much done. Also, we've got the other video coming, which is the Trading Up series, where I will be purchasing a motorcycle. I have purchased a motorcycle, I should say. I will, at the end of the video, put a bit of a teaser picture of the bike. It won't be a full-on picture, but it'd be interesting for you guys to have a guess and see what you think. So, yes, I'll give you a bit of a spoiler alert on the bike. I paid £100 for it. So, yes, we will be looking to be trading up from that. And the whole idea is we trade up to something brand new. But I'm not going to go into all that yet. I will go into that in the video. That will be released either the start of next week or yeah, later part of next week, but it'll be next week anyway. So yes, like and subscribe to see what bike I paid £100 for. yeah, I'd be interested to see your take on that, guys. So yes, it was something that people seem quite excited about. So yes, we'll be trading up to a brand new bike, and also I want your help in deciding what brand new bike we should be buying. And I'm looking around about the sort of we'll be trading up to around about the £10,000 mark. And also, I think a few people sort of hadn't I've sort of mentioned in the comments and whatever else about how difficult it is to buy and sell bikes. It's something I've been doing for many years. So yeah, I'll be giving you my sort of take on how I do it and how I've done it for many years. I've been doing it for the last 20 plus years, maybe a bit longer than that. So I've got a good idea on how to make a profit on a bike. So yeah, if you're interested in that, guys, please like, please subscribe on that. Okay, let's get on to Market Watch. You know what? I saw something in it was on the news recently. It was Sadiq Khan putting up Ulez prices again from next year, from the start of 2026. I think it's going to be sort of £18 to get into the Ulez zone. And obviously, I'm in the Ulez zone, as I've said many times. I can come out of here and go left and miss the Ulez zone. But if I come out of here and turn right, which is mainly what I normally do, I would be in the Ulez zone. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain. So I thought I would, on this episode, concentrate on bikes that are MOT, tax exempt, and ULEZ exempt, which means bikes over 40 years of age. So yeah, I wanted to to just show you guys what you could buy for that, and the whole sort of premise of it. The bike has to be reliable as well. You know, it can't just be oh well, yes, it's all these things, but also it's a pain to live with. I mean, because that sort of defeats the object, right? So yeah, all these bikes, some you might find exciting, some you might think they're the most dowdy, boring things in the world, but they will do that job. So yeah, they have to be reliable, have to be under £3,000, and have to be over 40 years of age. So, and the whole idea with this as well is you could have these bikes for a while, and you would likely, when you come to sell, if you've looked after them and the bike's in good condition, you would likely get your money back, or God forbid, a bit of a profit. So the first bike on my list is, a few of you might go, this is the most boring bike in the world, but the younger people now are seeing these as sort of cafe racers. It's a Honda CX500. It's, as you probably know, the nickname many of you also refer to as the plastic maggot. I will put up a picture of this one now. As you can see, it's in a rather fetching red colour. Looks in good condition. £1,450 or near offer. 27,000 miles for one of these. That's nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's a 1980, so you're well within the 40-year barrier there, and it just looks like a good straight bike. I mean, a few years ago, nobody wanted these. You could buy a good one of these for, I remember, sort of 300-400 quid, and you know you'd be lucky if you made a couple of £100 on one. But now, yeah, trying to find a good one. You know, a lot of these were used for commuters, were used as dispatch bikes, so. Yeah, not so many good ones about anymore. But yeah, this 1982, a CX500B in great original condition. Never been restored, except for the swing arms being powder coated. Starts, runs great. Purchased in 2024 from a motorcycle mechanic. Isn't it always? Isn't everyone a motorcycle mechanic when they come to sell a bike? The previous owner, he was either an aircraft engineer or he was a motorcycle mechanic, just happened to be for that brand as well. So yeah, the amount of times I read that, it's either coincidence or a little bit fishy. But there you go. I'm not doubting it, but I hear that a lot. Serviced in March 2024 and again last month with fresh engine oil and filter, spark plugs and valves adjusted. It's a 43-year-old bike, benefits from no MOT or road tax, as we say, based in Suffolk. So all these bikes I'm showing you are available as of doing this video. So yes, an interesting bike, I think, the Plastic Maggot. They are coming of age now. Because, yeah, years ago, to be honest, I didn't really have much interest in them. But now after, you saw the series, I remember coming out years ago, there was a series that came out called Cafe Racer. And it was sort of based in the States, and a lot of them were CX500s, because they used to just wheel those bikes out in America into the end of their driveway just to get rid of them. I mean, even now, some of the bikes over there aren't huge money, CBs and whatever else. We're over here, commanding good money. I know the big two-strokes over there, command good money, but still, some of the stuff like the CX500 and whatever else is just not so desirable. So, yes, cafe racers are chopping them up and, making them look quite cool. So I think for 1,450 quid, I don't think you're going to be left wanting. Okay, the next one on my list is a 1978 Yamaha SR500. It's at 2,950. Again, this one's been slightly modified, but I kind of like what's been done with it, actually. And again, under £3,000. So he says, I've owned this bike for 6 years and turned it from a standard bike into a one-off street scrambler style. Replaced aluminium parts, including a handmade aluminium fuel tank, especially for an SR500, which was made at the tank shop in Scotland. It also has chunky scrambler tyres, which work really well on and off-road. I haven't used it for 2 years, but when I started it, it kicked straight into life. I've had a few of these over the years, and they've been so reliable and easy to work on. And as it's 40 years and over, it's tax and MOT free. And again, this is another good point, insurance costs him £50 a year. On classic bikes, the insurance is considerably cheaper as well. So that's something else to factor in. So you can really have some cheap motoring if you buy a bike over 40 years old, but you've got to buy the right bike. That's the key. Something, let's be honest, something Japanese. For me, I think it's easier to live with something with electric start as well. I mean, I'm going against my own rules here with what I purchased. Coming soon, my Enduro bike, but that's another story. So yeah, I mean, if you're not too into sort of maintenance and whatever else, if you're buying something, yeah, Japanese, Honda, Yamaha, something like that, I don't think you can go too wrong. So yes, a good looking bike, and all for under £3,000. Okay, on to our next one, which is, it's not the most exciting in the world. It's a BMW R45, 1981. This isn't the cream of the crop when it comes to sort of older BMWs. It's a little bit underpowered. 450cc, but there's so many cool things you can do with these bikes, and they are very reliable. And this one is the grand sum of £2,000 or near offer. Again, 1980, so it's MOT tax exempt. I did a quick insurance quote on one of these just to see for myself. I mean, to be honest, it's all relative. It's not going to be the same for you wherever you are, but I thought it'd be interesting just to see. And it was under £60 for the year. So I could insure it for under £60 a year. I wouldn't have to pay ULEZ, and it'd be MOT and tax exempt. So all I need to pay for is servicing and yeah, just keeping the bike up to standard, which is a point I want to touch on, guys, as well. Just because the bike is over 40 years old doesn't mean, maintenance can be neglected or anything like that. It still needs to be held to a high standard. I mean, because you're going to be riding the bike, right? I know it's easy for a lot of people to say, oh, well, it's MOT exempt, but that's all great, but it's also still got to be safe, and it's still got to be in good condition for the road. It just saves you a bit of money every year, and the time of having to go down to the MOT test and, yeah, worries the MOT test are going to moan about something or another. So, yeah, not the most exciting bike in the world, I'll be honest, but you could make it look really good. So that's why I included this, and it was under the £3,000. It says, great little runner, honest motorcycle with a few little quirks. She is not fast, as he says there, but loves to cruise. Previous owner painted her. Few minor paint drops. Custom handmade headlight bracket. Well, when someone sort of says someone's painted the bike themselves, and then you hear things like custom, you start to go, how custom was it? So yeah, runs and rides excellent. Again, people are so quick to tell you tax and MOT exempt, all paperwork. A fantastic running little bike. So for £2,000, as I say, if the paintwork isn't original either, you're not going to be too worried about adding your own bit of style to it. Because that's what I always worry. If I get anything too nice, too original, I'll just want to keep it 100% standard. But if I get something ratty or, that's had a bit of a rubbish paint job, then the world's your oyster. So sometimes you are a little bit better off buying something that is a little bit rough around the edges. So yeah, you don't feel guilty when you come to doing those bits to it. Okay, my next bike is a Yamaha XT250, 1981. This one's done less than 20,000 kilometres. So what's that? Around about 14,000 miles. So yeah, that's not bad going, is it? He says here, lighter than its big brother, the XT500. XT is an easy starter, decompressor. Again, yeah, this is kickstart, but it's got a smaller capacity engine, so it would be a bit easier to kick over than a big thumper. In fantastic condition, recent new seat cover, tyres and paint in great condition, all lights work, everything works as it should, totally original, was imported from Japan, which, to be honest, is, I know a lot of classic guys here are dead set on it has to be a UK bike, which sometimes I get that for certain rare sort of stuff, but we don't have the best climate for motorcycles, so don't really be put off if it comes from somewhere in the US, a dry state, or Japan, or places where they tend to not use salt on the road. So yeah, as long as it's been registered properly, they're all made in the same place and just shipped to different places in the world. They might have slightly different parts put on to meet that, to meet those laws, etc. So, but yeah, don't be put off by that. Again, great running bike. So yeah, this will, again, MOT tax exempt 2995. Again, with these bikes I'm showing you, I mean, you could have them for a while, and then even if you paid full price without getting any money off of these asking prices, you're going to get your money back if it's looked after. So yeah, again, I'm just trying to see if we can do a little bit of, not so much free motoring, but incredibly cheap motoring. In the world we live in of £35,000 Europeans and all that good stuff. And yeah, let's be honest, we're getting a little bit ripped off with everything, aren't we, when it comes to costs and running costs and fuel costs and any other cost you can think of. So yeah, saving a bit of money and looking cool while you do it as well is, quite an interesting thing. So the next one we go on to is a Honda CB500. So 1975. It is £2,000 on the nose. He says mileage 300 miles. That isn't right. I think since it's been rebuilt, it's done around about that. Reduced for quick sale due to house move. Sales my amazing retro classic fully restored 1975 Honda CB500 with a complete overhaul, including powder coating to the body and wheels. The bike has no starting issues and just needs the clutch adjusting. Well, this is a thing, guys. This is what always puts doubt in my head when you read little things like this. You've gone to this extreme of totally restoring a bike, getting it all done, getting it all to the level you want, and then apparently it just needs the clutch adjusting, which is a little bit of a red flag, because why don't you just adjust the clutch? Then you've obviously got enough, knowledge to do what you've done here with the bike. So yeah, those little things, if you have got little jobs like that, then just do them. So, because otherwise it does sort of, it makes your ears prick up a little bit and think, something's not quite right with that. I mean, it might just need that, but as a buyer of motorcycles, of quite a few motorcycles over the years, you always tend to see patterns, but I will explain all that when we do the Trading Up series. This is a great bike for the price being offered, so no silly offers as they will be ignored. We spent more on the bike than actually selling it for. The only reason for it is due to moving house and limited room. If you're serious about it, come and have a look. You won't be disappointed. It comes with 2 seats including the price for quick sale. So yeah, he wants to get rid. So there probably is a deal to be done there. I'm not a big fan of the colour he's painted the frame, to be honest. I quite like the tank and a few other bits, but yeah, it's not the choice I would have gone for. But again, it's £2,000, right? Next one is a bonus one. It is and I'll tell you why it's a bonus one. It's a 1986 Honda XLV 750R. It's my bonus one because it hasn't quite reached 40 years yet, but it will do at the start of next year. So it's already going to come with an MOT anyway. So the only downside you'll have to do until next year is road tax. Insurance will still be about the same anyway, so that'll be cheap. So yeah, road tax, and it won't be Ulez compliant at this point. So yeah, that's why it's my bonus one for today, but it will be very, very shortly. So it's done 30,000 kilometres, and this is what he says about the XLV. It's the forerunner to the legendary Africa Twin. The XLV 750 is an air-cooled Honda, and the issues with overheating and rear cylinder and hot climates not ideal for stacker, so they increased the oil capacity to ultimately switch cool, develop the AT. Okay, so he's just going into a bit of detail. The XLT is shaft drive, yes. It was only sold in Europe and Australia. My bike was restored in Italy by the past owner. It was then imported to UK. I acquired it 4 years ago with a view of doing some off-roading, which I never have done. I've now got myself a Honda CRF 300 Rally. Well, funny enough, I test rode one of those on Monday. If you'd like to see that video, please have a look in my videos and you will see it. I literally just did that on Monday. It's been in storage for some time. I'd like to go to someone who will ride this in excellent condition and will be sold with a brand new MOT. I love the look of this bike. I think it looks fantastic. It is rarer than an Africa Twin. It just looks great. And who else will you see that's got one of these? I'm sure some of you in the comments will probably know someone who's had one or owned one, but for £3,000 on the nose. So yes, but that's why it is my little bit of a wild card at the moment, because it isn't quite there. But okay, guys, that pretty much sums up market watch for this week. I will possibly next week or the week after, because I've had a few people ask me about the bikes I've owned over the years. So I will probably, during the market watch, I will probably do that at some point as well and share a few pictures of the many bikes I've owned. Not all I've bought and sold, obviously, because we'd be here for weeks, but yeah, just stuff that I've owned personally. So yeah, if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments, let me know. And yeah, any other stuff you've seen that's interesting for sale, then yeah, send me an email. Here's my email address. And also, which brings me on to my next part, is read Watchers Rides. So this is the part where we go into what you guys have been sending me this week. So again, if you want to have your bike featured, then please let me know what bike you have and some pictures. If you could again email me to this email address, and I will happily put them on the next Watchers Rides of Market Watch. Okay, well, let's jump into it. We have a Mr. Paul Till has emailed, and he says, "Hi Ben, I found your channel whilst in hospital recovering from a heart bypass. Very entertaining and passed the time well, thanks. I've a couple of bikes that I'm gutted I won't be able to ride for a while, but I saw your post, RE Market Watch, and I thought I'd send a couple of pictures. So this first one is a 2006 SV650S. With a Renthal bar riser kit, makes it much more sit up and more comfortable. I've had it for 4 years. You've probably seen videos previously where I've said, like, you can't go wrong with an SV650. You just can't. They're so easy to ride. Yeah, as he said, he's put the risers on this one because this is the S version, so this is the fared version. So yeah, the handlebars are a little bit lower on this, but he's put a riser kit to cope with that, which is a really good modification actually. So yeah, cool bike, fantastic, easy and so reliable. And you know what? A lot of people use these on track days as well. They do the Super Twins racing with them as well. So they're very robust machines. So yeah, cool little bike. Next one is a 2012 Tiger 800. He's actually just sold it. And he said it's one of the best bikes he's ever owned. I've had a couple of friends who've had Tiger 800s. I've sold a few Tiger 800s. I quite like them. I always found them a little bit heavy, actually, for the sort of power they had. But I get why people like them. So, yeah, an interesting bike. And his next one is a 2015 BMW R1200 RS. I've owned it for a couple of years. It's a great bike, but I can't seem to connect with it. So we'll probably sell it and we'll just keep the little SV, I think. Isn't that amazing? So, you know, he's had the Tiger 800 and he's had this 2015 R1200 and he actually prefers his SV650. But yeah, the R1200 is an interesting bike. I don't think it's one that's captured the imagination so much in the UK. You don't tend to see many of them. I think they look good. I mean, we're now in that sort of time where these sort of touring type bikes are, you know, people who just go adventure. They sort of skip that step out and go to adventure type bikes now. So, yeah, they're not massive sellers. They're not easy bikes to sell. But again, I like them just because they're different. So, Paul, I hope you're getting better. Thank you so much for emailing. And yes, good luck with your little SV650. You can't go wrong. Okay, on to our next one. It's from a Matt Winterborough. And he is based in Wimbledon. Hi Ben, I'm fairly new to riding. Here are a couple of pics of my Kawasaki Z250 SL. I've owned the bike for just over a year after passing my test. I'm looking to upgrade to a larger bike at the end of the year, maybe a ZX6R. What are your thoughts on sports bikes in general? Well, these again quite a rare bike, the Z250 SL. They weren't massive sellers either, but they're good bikes. I have sold a couple of these in the past, and yeah, they're very easy and actually sell quite easily. So yeah, if you just passed your test, to be honest, it's a great bike. So yeah, coming off that to a ZX6R, I mean, I think most people think, you know, as soon as you say sports bike and you're new to riding, they think, you know, it's going to be ultimate death. But to be honest, the bike's only as fast as you ride it. I mean, my first bike after passing my test, because I was trading them actually before I could even actually ride a bike. So yeah, I couldn't actually ever test ride them. I could only test ride them on my dad's private bit of driveway to make sure they were okay. But yeah, I had an RSV 1000. So yeah, that was my first proper bike after passing my test. That was in 2007. I think it was around about then. The bike was 3 or 4 years old. I bought that bike with a GSXR 600 SRAD. There you go, there's a little bit of history. So what are my thoughts on sports bike? Yes, I like sports bikes. I liked them more when I was younger, not so much now. I tend to not really ride sports bikes very much. As you see, my channel doesn't have many of them on there. The nearest thing I get to sporty nowadays is the BMW K1. I just find them a bit of a killer on my wrists. I always say I get to 7 miles and my wrists are aching and I've just had enough at that point. So, yeah, I'm not a major fan of sports, so I can see why you are, but yeah, have one while you're young, Matt. That's probably the best thing I could probably suggest. ZX6, great bike. So you haven't said which ZX6 you're looking at now, but I'd assume you're talking sort of, a post sort of 2010, which are great bikes. Anything before that are really great. Even like, late 90s, J1, J2 ZX6Rs are great bikes. But yeah, to be honest, if you just want reliability and you're using it every day, then go for the later one. But yeah, ZX6 sounds like you're into Kawasaki's now. But yeah, for me, no, I tend to go for a little more sit up and beg nowadays. Okay, so thank you very much for your email, Matt. So we have another mail from a Stephen Greyman from Bishop Stortford. Hi Ben, really enjoying the videos. I thought I'd send you a picture of my Suzuki Hibusa that I've owned from you. I did see your review of the Hibusa. You didn't seem overly excited by it, but I love mine for long motorway commutes to and from home. It just sucks up the road. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Stephen. Yes, I did test ride one recently. I've owned a Hayabusa in the past. Really more for bragging rights, I think, at the time, just to say I had a Hayabusa. I got more fun probably from that than I did actually riding it, if I'm honest, because it is a heavy bike. Even the latest ones, they are very heavy. They're a little bit cumbersome until they're really on the move. And then, yeah, as you say, if you're on the motorway or long straight roads, then it's the easiest bike in the world. It's so planted. But yeah, when you come into sort of roads that you see a lot of reviews I do on it, you really do have to hustle that bike about. It's heavy. You sort of hunched over a bit more, so you have to sit back to look in the mirrors to see to make sure you can sort of filter okay. And yeah, it's quite heavy to steer in that sort of traffic as well. And again, quite a sporty sort of positioning with even with your feet as well. The pegs are quite high, and it's a bit wristy. Yeah, and yeah, it's expensive to run as well. But apart from that, it's fantastic. So yeah, no, Stephen, I get the appeal. Um, I understand it more. Yeah, if you have just one bike and you do those long commutes and whatever else, you want something with a bit of bragging rights, and you can't beat a Hayabusa. So I'll always love a Hayabusa, but yeah, there's love for it, and then there's reality, right? So that's just my opinion on it. So thank you very much, Stephen, for your email. We have another email from a Martin Sale in Cornwall. Hello, Ben. After your video the other day talking about old school enduro bikes, I thought I'd send you some pics of my bike. It's a Honda XL600. I purchased it out of a garage from an older guy about 5 years ago, and I've since slowly restored the bike while using for local trials. So it's easy to work on, plenty of grunt, and very reliable. I suggest you buy a Honda Enduro. Love your vids, Martin. Martin, thank you so much. It's very kind of you to say so. Yes, well, anybody who watches this channel knows I'm a bit of a Honda fanboy. I mean, that's a bit of an understatement. I love Hondas. And yes, it's a good looking bike. You have the XL600. Looks like an XL600S to me. Yes, they are great bikes. And yes, they do hold their money very well. They are very easy to work on. Yes, MOT, tax ULEZ exempt. So that would be ideal for me. But unfortunately, I purchased something else, or touch wood, fortunately. It is not a Honda. A few of you will be going, oh, he always buys Hondas. That's all he ever buys is Hondas. Well, I haven't bought a Honda this time. It's a bike I've owned many times, which will probably be a little bit of a clue to those of you. So yeah, have a guess in the comments. What enduro bike do you think I have purchased as a bit of a green lane and a bit of a fun and a bit of a project for the channel? So yeah, put down there in the comments what you think I have purchased. But I will tell you, it is MOT exempt, tax exempt for over 40 years old. Staying into what we're talking about, the Market Watch video today. But yes, thank you so much, Martin. Yes, they are fantastic bikes. And yes, you hit the nail on the head with everything you've said. So I'm very jealous. You've got a lot better trials where you are than where I am. So yes, thank you for your email. Again, guys, please get in contact with bikes that you have that you'd like me to feature on Market Watch. I might either do a rate or slate part as well, where I will rate your bike or I will slate your bike. So, yes, basically, if you send me anything with monster graphics on it, it's going to get slated. So, there you go. That's a little bit of a heads up for you. So, I think that pretty much sums it up, guys. So, I will give you a bit of a teaser of the trading up bike. Here's a picture of it. Well, picture of part of it. That is what we will start our journey from, a £100 motorcycle. So yes, that's coming next week, guys. So I'd love you to guess in the comments what you think it is. I know there'll be bike nerds like me who will know straight away because they wasted their life looking on the internet and buying and selling bikes for many years. So yes, let me know. And that's how we're going to start. And we're going to trade our way up to a brand new motorcycle. Again, I'm going to explain the rules of engagement with it all, but it will be a bike for me and it will be a bike I will be keeping. But yes, we're going to try and trade our way up, guys. So as always, please like, please subscribe. I love doing these videos, you know, because I'm always looking on the internet for bikes anyway. So it's not exactly a difficult thing for me to share this with you. So yeah, please like, please subscribe. If you like more videos like this, then please let me know. Have a great week, guys, and I'll see you next week for the new Trading Up series.